And hello! So we're doing an update of the Killer Bunnies from Mars,
Woo.
and so to show you our latest cool stuff that you're looking at right now is first up our concept artist, Mr. Cobalt. So trade place.
Hello. Okay.
Oh, you get them.
You get it. High quality
It is
video.
on this screen,
editing.
right? Like,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So I just had some different sketches here of different enemy designs that are going through, and just going through a bunch of different iterations on those, and comparing some different ideas that I think would be fun to see in a game. And then for kind of general look and theme, we're going for like 1950s, 1960s kind of B sci-fi movies and fun colors,
Like the
and
B
kind of
movie?
simplified, just like the B movie.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Internet
Yeah.
trolls.
So kind of poppy and fun. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
that's
yeah,
it. So
yeah.
Oh, you should go back to the other. content.
lots of other cool stuff
Oh,
though.
so pretty.
So cool.
That's
Stay
so pretty.
tuned for
Yeah,
more
which-
awesome art updates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. There it is. And
Mr. Host.
our,
Mine's up.
our current writer and planner and guy of knowledge.
And ironically, all of the faces that you see here were modeled after my face.
Yeah,
That's right.
Particularly this one here, this one, and this one, and this one, and this one are all modeled after my face. So,
Yeah.
True story.
anyways, we have been hard at work on the core story concept and kind of the key beat moments. So between the arcade mode, which will be kind of an infinite ongoing thing, and then the story mode, which will be very much the kind of the experience that we want people to have. So we've been building up all the things that happened, all the key characters and all that stuff inside the main thing. So we've actually blocked out, I've literally got, I don't even know how many pages this is right now, 13 pages of
You've been
description of everything, from the all the main characters, the organizations, the enemies, the bunnies themselves, the different types, all that stuff to get a core piece of here's actually the story components. So then we have our official synopsis and our game description. Should I read it?
Yeah.
Can I read it out loud? Our core synopsis is an overwhelming, comedic, fast-paced shooter pitting you against waves of vicious, fluffy, wuffy bunnies. With the core description of the game being this: face off against an invading armada of adorable little killers with a serious case of mankind munchies. Join the dysfunctional military dropouts, the Critter Death Squad, and arm yourself to the teeth with powerful weaponry designed by the team's unhinged mad scientist. Get tactical updates from a KGB pizza delivery driver, and fight to keep Earth off the dinner menu. If I had a mic, I would drop it and walk out. All right,
There you go.
you're up.
All right. So, cool.
I'm gonna sit in Cobalt.
Oh, okay.
Oh, your chair is right there.
So next up is the latest update on the Weapon 3, which functions like so. Hopefully it all works. We'll see. Yeah, so this gun right here, it's a sucker, and you watch this guy. If I suck at him, bloop, he gets shoved into there. And then he'll shoot out through the bottom and over to the second half of the gun, which I don't want to show you yet because I don't want to ruin it for you.
Top secret.
Top secret. However, a fun
Surprise.
part, if I spawn in some enemies here. Oh!
So many. Show us
So-
how it sucks again, Letty.
But you see I can suck up to 8 of them. Oops. Oh, of course it starts to break during demo time. Oh yeah, and if it gets too full, they get ground up and spit out the back.
Oh, like
So
alien
tasty.
goo.
But there's our little, yeah, there they are, hiding in there. And even if you shake it really hard, they still stay in there. So, that gave me no end of grief.
Feat of engineering.
Yeah, and so,
Grinder.
So, yeah, there's the first half of Weapon 3. So, this is how it works. Do I have the right
I'm
one?
actually curious to see how it works.
Yeah.
Me too.
So first up, there's the bunny bullets. These little guys.
BBs.
Yeah, BBs for short.
I see.
Which are these? They're just a little actor with a little collision on them, and that's about it. They're event graph. If it gets its owner name and its weapon left, it goes this route, and it gets its owner so that it can. What's it do? It gets a locator called Magazine Center Locator, which is Once I get it. Oh, nope, don't show that one.
Nope.
Don't
Oh,
show
yeah.
that one.
Wow. Almost.
Almost ruined it.
Almost got some secrets.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I'm looking for the, oh, geez. Magazine center. Here we go. So if they get too far from this little center mark here, right there, that's what this guy does. It attaches a locator that the bunny knows about called magazine center locator. So the bunny itself knows where that exists. And once every 0.1 ticks, or whatever that is, it does a distance safety check. And at that point, it says, okay, here's my collision sphere, this part of myself, and here's the magazine center locator. It does a little bit of vector math to get the length of that distance, and then says, is it greater than 20 units? If it is greater than 20 units, then set my world location back to the bunny bullet emitter, which is right here. So it resets itself. Actually, I should totally have that set to the,
You should probably put that to the
center. So we'll change that afterwards.
Put that on the list.
Yeah, that's on the list. Then there's the gun itself, which is a little, where's the actual event graph? Here it is. Okay, so to start out with, when you pull the trigger over inside of the pawn, event graph, up here. So inside of the pawn, if it's weapon 3, you get this real, I decided to start doing things a little cleaner, not like this. So if you pull the trigger, it does a trigger pulled event.
So clean.
Or on the weapon actor. So those weapons are actually their own actors. And if the weapon trigger is released, then it releases the trigger. And same for the left. So trigger pulled and trigger released. And that's how those start to fall into action. So first off, there's a check to make sure that, or to let the system know that the trigger has been pulled. That comes in handy down here during spin up and spin down in the animation, because there is animation on that right there, the spinning back end. And so on the event graph, first you have to pull the trigger and have it spin up. It's much like the Gatling gun in that regards, where it says, hey, do I need to spin up? And if I do need to spin up, it defaults, or it does need to spin up, then I may have a little mistake right there too. Anyways, so
It's good that we do these videos.
It is. So it checks to see if it needs to spin up. If it does, it starts this timeline. And then this timeline, what it does is it updates the play rate. So the play rate is normally at 0, and this animation curve is the spin up. So it slowly brings the spin of the animation on the weapon itself up to full speed. So once it finishes bringing that up to full speed, then it comes down here and says, no, I no longer need to spin up. And yeah, so then it can travel down here. If it has already spun up, then it will bypass the spin up and head down here also. And then there's another check I had to use to say, now it was spun up. So that's all this is, just a little boolean. We'll encounter that again later on. Then there's the activate the radial force, which is this guy right here. This guy is the this guy, the much bigger one. This guy is the thing that sucks in the bunnies. So it's the radial force suck, and it activates that. So it turns it on, so the bunny starts sucking towards the front. And then begins a sequence, or the loop, which if you are familiar with these kind of things, you'll know it. At first, the sequence goes 1, enter a gate, and then open up another sequence that this is the actions of the firing. Then when you're done firing, come around and wait for your fire rate to finish, then enter the loop again, and then fire again. And then also with the trigger release, it has a route up here that can then close that loop. So when you release the trigger, it stops sucking. And then there's, just in case the loop needs to exit midway, there's the if you let go and pull again real quick, it can cause some issues. So I just have this check to make sure that you didn't actually let go and then pull again, and it won't mess up. So that's what this does. And also it not only deactivates the radial force, but it drops itself out of the loop. Then down here is to grab a bunny and make sure it's not the previous one that you grabbed. So we do a multi-sphere trace from the suck zone, which is
The suck zone.
Which is
that an official term? A UE4
yeah, right
term?
here, the collision sphere suck zone. That's this. So that it does a multi-sphere trace right in there. And let's see, get sphered radius. Yeah, it gets the sphere of the suck zone and does a multi-sphere trace in that area. It looks for bunnies or pawns, and then whatever it hits, let's see. It first checks to make sure bunny to be sucked temp holder, which is what gets set afterwards. So when it searches, it's going to go ahead and first make sure it's not the previous one that got sucked in. And then if it's not, which at the beginning it's nothing, so it won't be, then it sets this bunny to be sucked in temp holder, and that's the one it collided with. At that point, it casts to the bunny actor and gets its actual gosh. Anyways, you had to do this to make it so it got the actual actor itself rather than a reference to the actor. And so we set this as bunny to be sucked. It's good terminology. So yeah, suck that bunny.
Suck that bunny.
So we have a do once just to make sure that we don't suck the same bunny twice. And then we run the event suck this bunny, which is right over here. My apologies. This should be G-rated.
You're just talking about the mechanics, right, though, Lenny?
Yeah.
Else.
Yeah. That's all this is.
That's all. It's just mechanics only.
Yeah.
Bunny sucking.
Yeah. So then down here, when it goes to suck this bunny, we now have a variable set that is this bunny to be sucked. And then we get its start location right here. Okay. And then bunny to be sucked in, which is right at the front of the gun. Where'd it go? Bunny to be sucked in right here. So we get its starting location wherever it happens to be, and here is its end location, which is this empty scene actor. I use those a whole lot for placeholders on things. And so then we start this timeline that's going to animate the bunny from where it was to that end, so it sucks it in. At the same time, we're going to graduate its scale so it shrinks as it's being sucked in. So first there's the bunny to be sucked in location and the bunny to be sucked in start location, which we set right here. And we start this timeline. And the timeline has an alpha on it, looks like so, pretty straightforward. And then so what we do is here's the bunny to be sucked, and we set actor location. So as this graduates, it's going to move it from one location to the next. And then also, there is what's this one do? This one does something. Oh, this one starts the shrinking animation, yeah, which is now a part of the bunny's. Let's see if I can even find it right now. Where's anim? So yeah, right here we have inside the animation of the bunny, there's the blend shape, which is ignore that one because I'm not even using it. We have this one, blend space from idle to small, and all that is there's the small animation, in which it's all it has is a key where it's super tiny. And it's just a single key, even though I have frames on it. I should take those frames off, but whatever. It's not hurting anything. And then there's idle, where the bunny's regular size. And all I'm doing is I'm doing a blend, just a blend on the, or using this, what's it called? A blend space, which is this guy. So if it's at one end, it's full size, and if it's at the other end, it's small. All I did was scale the bones up and down. And so because of that one-dimensional blend space, I can then cue this alpha that is setting the final animation pose. So back inside of here, we're getting the, where'd we go? am I in the wrong thing now? Yes, I am. So we're going to use the alpha from this timeline to start a lerp to change the alpha from 0 to 100. And first you have to say get bunny to be sucked, get the skeletal mesh ragdoll, get anim instance. So this is one thing that came in key, is this little get anim instance. And then you have to run a cast to the anim blueprint, and then you can set the blend alpha idle small, which is this right here. So it's the only way to do a direct, where'd you go? Somewhere in here. There you are. It's the only way to talk directly to it. The easiest way I was able to find to talk directly to it. So at that point, it's moved in and it's shrunk. And then
you could theoretically do a thing where like the ears could compress. Like
yeah, you
could
could even
animate like a transition.
Yeah, you could do whatever kind of animation you want. They could shrink down, which will probably add it right now because they still the physics is still in charge.
They're still
so as they get sucked in, they still pop, and they pop around. So
which is probably what you want.
Yeah, which looks kind of fun. So once that's done, then it does the bunny get loaded or rejected? So at this
rejected is such a nice name for what happens.
So at this point, this is the array for all the bunny bullets that are being loaded in, and it checks the length on it. And once it's beyond the magazine max, which is set to 8, then if it's less than the magazine max, then it loads the bunny into the magazine. If it's more than the magazine max, then it rejects the bunny. And then at that point, you destroy the original bunny to be sucked actor because, no need for it anymore. And then that resets this do once, and and then it's back down there. So now for the load bunny into magazine and reject bunny, that's down here. Or maybe it's over there. Load bunny into magazine. Here we are. So, the bunny bullet emitter is the location where the bunny bullets come from, which is right here. Yeah, right here in the side of the little chute. So it gets sucked in here, spit out here. We've jumped back to the event graph. And then at that point, it spawns a bunny bullet actor, which is that little simple one, at that location. And then it says, let's see, it adds it to the magazine, so this array of bunny bullet actors, and then it sets its scale to 0, so it's small at first, and then it fires the impulse, which is on the bunny bullet actor. There's this little impulse that's right below it, so that way when it enters the magazine, it goes boop, and gets kind of shot up in there. Anyways, it fires that impulse. At that point, it starts a timeline that sets the world scale to lerp from 0.3 up to 1. So it pops in and scales up. And then it does that via the collision sphere. So it works with such a simple actor. If you have an actor with skeletons, that's not going to work. Anywho, so that's how one gets popped into the chamber. Then there's what if it got rejected, which is, this one takes a while.
You gave me an idea. That's why I'm writing it down.
What do we got here? I got lost. Set world. So that one loads the bunny into the magazine. Oh, and then there's if they get rejected. So if it gets rejected, you just do this once per bunny. So it plays from start. Since the actor has already died, you can just bypass any of that previous stuff, and you just have a grind bunny timeline. And all it is setting a float parameter on this blood particle, which looks like so. This exhaust blood, which you can't see at all because it fires only when you fire it. Anyways,
but it's cool.
It does that little psh, and so anyways, the spawn rate amount, that's what I meant to show you, was right here on this variable under spawn. I said distribution float particle by parameter, set the spawn rate, or the parameter name to spawn rate, and that is what sets, or is why it gets set. Over here is the spawn rate amount gets pushed into the set float parameter, and this is a reference to the particle that's part of this actor. So it turns that up. Then there's let's see, unload bunnies from magazine. So we covered the load bunnies into the magazine. Oh yeah. So if we need to unload bunnies from the magazine, what we're going to do first, so say it's up to 8 and you want to it's going to transfer one to the actual main weapon, which is going to be your right hand. At that point, first it checks to see that there's at least 1 inside the array. And then pop a bunny off the array. So this get and also add that I do wherever I do the add, don't know where it went. Right here. So this one I'm adding a bunny bullet actor, and this one I'm removing a bunny bullet actor right here. So that makes an array behave more like a stack. So as you push them in, it'll fill up, and as you remove them, it'll empty out. And so it makes it behave like a bullet clip. So yeah, right here I'm popping one off, and I'm setting it to first I set it to bunny bullet to be transferred, and then I remove it off of the array. So I got a hold of it and I took it off the array. And then I set some local variables. It's start location, it's in location, just like we did before. And then we start a shrink and move to the hopper exit. So same as when we pop them in, just in reverse with the timeline. And we set the world location, moving from the end or the start to the end. And then we also lerp from the scale, and we're heading towards the bullet bunny hopper, which is right here. So they get shrunk and then pulled down into there. Where'd we go? And then once that's done, then once that's done, kill the little bunny bullet actor off of the left gun, and then send the bunny to the right weapon. So this is bunny bullet received, is the function, and this is the right-handed gun, or the reference to the right-handed gun actor. And then it just calls that function saying, hey, a bullet just arrived, do something with it. And that's all of the suck cannon. So yeah, it turned out to be, and then one other weird thing that was a big old fiasco was the colliders. These guys, these guys. So the colliders, to keep it stuck inside there, I had to set it to, I didn't figure out how to do an inside out one, so I built these, which are kind of, casts basically. And so also on the bunny bullet actor themselves, on the physics of the thing, a very, very important note, not that anybody's still listening at this point, because it's way too long. But in case you have stuck around, use CCD. That's constant collision detection. And so that makes it update like infinitely faster. So if you're having things trying to collide, but they're sliding around too much, use this and it'll keep them stuck in there. And you also want to do it for, I'm not sure if you want to do it for this, but I turned it on these. That use CCD, wherever it ran itself off to.
Down at the bottom.
Down at the bottom. There we are. Yeah, use CCD. And so that way, both of those are doing constant updates. Oh yeah, and there's a little whir of the engine that the bunnies will come in here and get chewed up and spit out. So, that was a mouthful. That's that weapon. And yeah, there we go. So anyways, I hope everybody has a lovely weekend. Anything from you guys?
Stay clear of the suck zone.
Yeah, suck zone's bad. So, yes.
Yeah, we're excited. This weapon uses the latest cutting edge technology in vacuum cleaners to make it happen, and quantum physics. Quantum physics and vacuum cleaners.
Yeah. So that video was way too long. My apologies for that, but if you stuck with it, thank you for staying.
Worth it.
Yes, and hopefully we will see you guys next week. And yeah, thank you so much for following. And yes, we'll see you next week. All right, wave goodbye. There you go.